Your grandmother probably knew how to make it. Ancient Egyptians documented it 8,000 years ago. Modern research shows it beats commercial antibiotics against certain drug-resistant bacteria in laboratory tests. But walk into any pharmacy and try to find it on the shelf. You can't, because the most powerful natural antimicrobial combination ever studied, honey fermented with garlic, can't be patented, can't be standardized to pharmaceutical specifications, and costs about $3 to make at home. The global antibiotics market is worth $45 billion annually. A remedy that people can make in their kitchen for pennies threatens that entire industry. Not because it's unproven the research backing honey-garlic combinations is extensive, but because accessibility undermines profit. Let me show you what they don't want you making at home. The remedy that can't be monetized. Take raw honey, add crushed garlic cloves. Wait 3 weeks. The honey liquefies as garlic releases its juices. Natural fermentation occurs. Probiotics develop. Allicin, the primary antimicrobial compound in garlic, becomes more bioavailable. The result is a medicinal syrup that studies show outperforms commercial antibiotics against certain bacteria. A 2013 study tested garlic-honey combinations against both sensitive and multi-drug resistant bacteria. The inhibition zones, the areas where bacterial growth stopped completely, were significantly larger for the honey-garlic mixture than for either honey or garlic alone. The combination showed higher antibacterial activity than gentamicin and streptomycin in some tests. That's a home remedy beating pharmaceutical antibiotics in laboratory conditions. The mechanism is synergistic. Honey contributes hydrogen peroxide, low pH, high osmolarity, and in the case of Manuka honey, methyl galeoxyl, a compound so antimicrobial that it's rated by unique Manuka factor scores based on concentration. Garlic contributes allicin and related organosulfur compounds, diallyl disulfide, diallyl trisulfide, ajuane. These compounds work through multiple pathways. They inhibit bacterial cell wall synthesis, disrupt membrane integrity, interfere with protein synthesis, and generate oxidative stress that kills pathogens. Together, they create an antimicrobial environment that bacteria struggle to resist. A 2001 clinical trial with 146 participants found that allicin supplementation reduced cold occurrence by 63% compared to placebo. A comprehensive 2024 review in the journal Molecules confirmed garlic's activity against gram-positive, gram-negative, and antibiotic-resistant bacterial strains. This isn't alternative medicine. This is documented pharmacology. Why your doctor doesn't recommend it. Here's the problem. You can't patent garlic, honey, or millennia-old fermentation processes. You can't charge $85 for a remedy that costs $3 to make. The FDA doesn't regulate food-based preparations like drugs. That means pharmaceutical companies can't monopolize traditional remedies, but it also means no major funding for clinical trials that would establish standardized dosing and safety profiles. Research exists, but it's fragmented. Studies are small. Funding is limited. The incentive structure prioritizes patentable molecules over traditional preparations, even when traditional preparations work. The antibiotic market depends on standardization, patent protection, and controlled distribution. A remedy anyone can make in their kitchen undermines all three. Not because it's unsafe or ineffective, because it's unmonetizable. The power of addition, herbs that amplify. People who make fermented honey garlic don't stop there. They add thyme, rosemary, ginger, turmeric, lemon zest. Each addition brings its own antimicrobial compounds. Thyme contains thymol and carvacrol phenolic compounds with documented antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral properties. A 2019 study on thyme honey found it enhanced antimicrobial activity beyond standard honey alone, particularly against respiratory pathogens. Thymol disrupts bacterial cell membranes. Carvacrol interferes with bacterial cell wall integrity. Combined with honey's hydrogen peroxide and garlic's allicin, you're creating a multi-pathway antimicrobial formula that targets bacteria through several mechanisms simultaneously. This is why resistance is harder to develop. Antibiotics typically work through a single mechanism. Bacteria develop resistance by mutating the specific pathway the drug targets. But when you combine multiple compounds working through different mechanisms, cell wall disruption, membrane permeability, protein synthesis inhibition, oxidative stress resistance becomes exponentially harder. Rosemary adds rosmarinic acid and carnosic acid antioxidant and antimicrobial compounds that reduce inflammation and inhibit bacterial growth. Ginger contributes gingerol with anti-inflammatory and antibacterial effects. Turmeric brings curcumin, which enhances immune function and has documented antimicrobial properties. The traditional practice of adding multiple herbs to honey garlic ferments isn't mysticism. It's sophisticated polypharmaceutical formulation developed through empirical observation over centuries. The research they don't publicize. Here's what peer-reviewed studies have documented about honey-garlic combinations. Against antibiotic-resistant bacteria, studies show effectiveness against MRSA-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, extended-spectrum beta-lactamase, producing E. coli, and other multi-drug-resistant strains. The combination therapy shows synergistic effects that individual components don't achieve alone. Bioavailability enhancement. Fermentation increases allicin bioavailability by reducing irritating sulfur elements while preserving antimicrobial activity. The process makes garlic compounds easier for the body to absorb and utilize. Probiotic development. Natural fermentation produces lactobacillus and other beneficial bacteria. These probiotics support gut health and immune function while acidifying the honey, lowering pH to levels that inhibit pathogenic bacteria. Cardiovascular benefits. Garlic's organosulfur compounds reduce blood pressure and LDL cholesterol. Multiple studies document modest but measurable cardiovascular improvements with regular garlic consumption. Honey contributes antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. Immune modulation. Both honey and garlic increase white blood cell counts and enhance immune response. Clinical trials show reduced severity and duration of respiratory infections in groups consuming these compounds regularly. This research exists in peer-reviewed journals, but it's scattered across specialty publications, herbal medicine journals, and food science literature not promoted in mainstream medical media the way pharmaceutical trials are. What hidden actually means. The remedy isn't secret. The recipe has been public for thousands of years. It's hidden because there's no profit incentive to promote it. Pharmaceutical companies spend billions on research, development, and marketing for patentable drugs. They fund major medical journal studies. They sponsor conferences where doctors learn new treatments. They advertise directly to consumers. A remedy you make at home gets none of that infrastructure. No marketing budget, no sales force, no medical conference presentations. It exists in cultural knowledge, herbal medicine texts, and small university-funded clinical studies not amplified through the economic system that rewards profitable products. The information is accessible to anyone willing to search, but it's not promoted the way $45 billion markets promote their products. That's the difference between hidden and secret. How to make it. Peel raw garlic cloves. Crush or chop them to release allicin. Fill a clean jar about 2/3 full. Pour raw, unpasteurized honey over the garlic until submerged. Add 2-3 sprigs of fresh thyme if desired. Thymol and carvacrol enhance antimicrobial activity. Close the jar. Turn it daily for the first week to distribute garlic juices. Over 2 to 3 weeks, the honey liquefies. Fermentation occurs. The garlic softens and mellows. The mixture develops a complex, savory, sweet flavor with umami notes. Critical safety warning. Never give honey to infants under 12 months old. Honey can contain Clostridium botulinum spores that cause infant botulism, a potentially fatal condition. Infants' digestive systems cannot safely process these spores. This fermented honey garlic preparation is for adults and children over 1 year only. Store at room temperature in a dark place. The high sugar content and acidic pH prevent harmful bacterial growth while encouraging beneficial fermentation. Some people add a tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar to lower pH, further extra insurance against botulism, though properly made honey garlic ferments naturally acidify through lactobacillus activity. Use a spoonful when you feel cold symptoms starting. Add it to salad dressings. Drizzle over roasted vegetables. Take it straight for acute respiratory infections. The fermented garlic cloves become deliciously edible once mellowed by honey. When to use this versus prescription antibiotics? This remedy is appropriate for minor respiratory infections, preventive immune support, and early-stage cold symptoms. It is not a substitute for antibiotics in serious bacterial infections, pneumonia, sepsis, or any condition requiring immediate medical attention. If symptoms worsen or persist beyond a few days, see a doctor. Natural remedies work best for prevention and mild infections, not as replacements for emergency medicine. The total cost, about $3 for a pint jar that lasts months. The economic threat. The global antibiotics market is projected to reach $62 billion by 2031. The antimicrobial ingredients market synthetic compounds in soaps, lotions, medical devices is expanding rapidly. Meanwhile, research notes rising consumer preference for natural therapeutics and adoption of natural ingredients such as honey and plant extracts as emerging trends threatening synthetic dominance. The pharmaceutical industry isn't actively suppressing honey garlic remedies. They're simply not promoting competition to their own products. Why fund research into something you can't profit from? Why educate doctors about remedies that reduce antibiotic prescriptions? Every person who learns to make this remedy represents a small erosion of pharmaceutical market share. That's why it's hidden not through conspiracy, but through economic disinterest. What ancient wisdom knew. Egyptians used honey medicinally 8,000 years ago. Greeks prescribed garlic for infections. Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine incorporated these ingredients for immune support. They didn't understand allicin, methylglyoxal, or bacterial membrane disruption. They observed that certain combinations consistently produced healing effects and preserved that knowledge through generations. Modern science now documents the mechanisms behind effects our ancestors knew empirically. The validation is reassuring, but it doesn't change the fundamental reality. These remedies work. They've worked for millennia, they're documented in modern research, and they're still not in your pharmacy because the most useful remedy on earth can't be monetized. So people who want it make it themselves. For about $3 in their kitchen, for free.